Jojo, Joe, Jojo, Jojo. Okay, he's not listening, you guys. But I have something that will make him interested. We have what here are cat treats. Oh, look at him. He's so hungry. Come on, Joe. Come on. Come on. Come on, Jojo. I'm opening it. Oh, well, this is new. Didn't see this when I was back here in November. It looks like one of those axe throwing things. It's pretty sweet. And by the targets, you guys, looks like it's been used quite often. We might go back there. Maybe next time. Huh, so I guess the mall in my hometown isn't a bore after all. They've got Billy Graham's Traveling Museum. Well, that is pretty neat. So, I guess the mall wasn't that boring after all. Yeah, you guys, I saw that whole axe throwing thing. I imagine that's just a temporary business. This mall gets a lot of that sort of thing during the Christmas season. I know it hasn't changed much even when I was a little kid, but it was neat. They say, I think if I'm not mistaken, this is day 251 of my vlogging experience. Not in the state of Florida right now, but the state of Tennessee. I've made it pretty far. I think for today's vlog, you guys, to start things off, I'm going to get a haircut because, well, I need one for the wedding. My problem is I've kind of had a stigma about Cleveland, Tennessee, and various different barbers, beauty shops. Someone that can cut my hair the way that I like my hair cut. It's just that they can never get my hair right. But here in the state of Jacksonville, not state of Jacksonville, state of Florida, Jacksonville, there are people that I know of that cut my hair correctly in the proper way, and they don't give any complaints, and they're very friendly people. So you guys, to start off this vlog, today 251, let's go get a haircut. Alright, if my Google reviews served me well, I think we're going to go to this one, because it looks pretty trustworthy. I like it. They were a little more pricier than I thought they would be, but the service was great. I cannot complain. That is probably the best haircut that I've gotten in Cleveland, Tennessee. So you guys, if you live in this area, go to them. Like, they know what they're doing. However, my problem at the moment is they do not have a debit card machine. So as of right now, they have kindly allowed me to drive to my bank to make a withdrawal, but I look good. And you know, it's surprising to me that, you know, I can't find a girlfriend, and I just see like these women just going with these guys that, you know, they just kind of look like they're the lesser of the genetic gene pool. Me, you know, I don't mean to talk so much crap, but for me, it's like, I mean, I look good. I've done a lot of things that, I mean, a lot of women I feel would probably find pretty sexy, but it hasn't happened. But, you know, I'm not complaining. Let's go here. Let's get money out of the bank. Let's get them paid. Let's do it. Felt no reason to film it other than I got the money. We can go and pay them. So, I'm being a good scout. I look good. Well, anyway, you guys, I want to see about doing something today because I feel like I haven't done anything. I mean, I'm glad, I'm very thankful from my boss, Angela, and everyone at Wendy's for allowing me, just for 5 days off, to spend the holidays back at home up here. Although, I'm kind of looking forward to going back. I'm already missing my new home. But then again, I mean, Cleveland's alright, but I think what I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to go see The Rise of Skywalker. Now, if y'all have kept up with me, I said that I didn't want to see it, and my thing is I wouldn't see it if I knew that it was going to make like $1 billion or something along those lines. As you all can tell, it's struggling right now. Yes, it's made about, I think, 500,000 or $500 million, but it is nowhere near what it should be. And I feel like I've fulfilled my convictions on it, because for me, it's just like I can't. I mean, I hope this is a sign from the people to Disney, the people at Disney, the people, the higher ups, not Kevin Feige, Bill Iger, everyone who make those decisions can say, we don't want Rian Johnson to direct the next trilogy. I mean, that is my thing, because Rian Johnson, to me, just doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't. He directed like one so-so sci-fi film and a few episodes of Breaking Bad. That is not enough compared to these big names that broke the mold and brought back these multi-billion-dollar franchises that I think Kathleen Kennedy should be more observant of. Because it's just like, if Star Wars continues going the way it is, you guys, it's gonna go downhill. It will. It's just proven fact. Like, this is what happens like with these big companies when they think that they're like God-sized, and well, then they get too big for their coat. But you guys, let's see what the rest of this day holds. The day 251. Let's do it. Feels kind of weird, because normally I see movies down at the Orange Park Theater, and I'm back in my hometown watching it at the AMC. Here, where I used to watch movies all the time. And I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I mean, I'm going in knowing what I'm seeing, and I agree. Well, I probably should not be swayed by what other people have said about the reviews in this movie, but I mean, even though I know what's going to happen, I'm just curious to see what it looks like visually. For the most part, my point has been gotten across. I've stayed true to my convictions, but I think now it's okay to say I can see it, because it looks like it's gonna do, well, no, we're gonna watch it. So let's go see The Rise of Skywalker. Well, let's do this. I don't know how I feel about that. We'll talk about it later when we get back to the house. That's the only way I can describe it. You know, I haven't done an entry like that in a while for my vlog. But anyway, you guys, I'll cut straight to it. I just got back from seeing The Rise of Skywalker. And now, I'm going to give you my review. Now, I'm not going to beat it into the ground why I refused to see it the first week that it came out. Just to clarify that I knew it was not going to do as good as its predecessor, and to stay true to my convictions. And I succeeded in that. But now, let me give you all my review. The first act felt very cut up. It honestly did feel like it was an entirely different movie. In a way, it kind of felt like The Force Awakens, but with Carrie Fisher's passing. I kind of see that because, if I'm not mistaken, that's the sort of footage that J.J. Abrams used to show Carrie's character. And one of the really cool things that I tried looking through, and I won't say it's cool. I think it's interesting how CGI has come very far. We got to see a CGI version of Leia as a training with Luke. We got to see a CGI version of Luke, which looked way better. But then again, Carrie Fisher had passed, so I think J.J. Abrams had to work with what he had. Um, Overall, I am satisfied, but I am not. I know it doesn't make much sense because I can't really be a fence sitter on this. Um, there are good parts about the Rise of Skywalker that I really, really liked, like seeing Darth Sidious shooting his lightning into the sky and just taking down all the rebel ships. Like that was just incredible. That was freaking cool too. I mean, I think I liked the horror aspect of it. I really wish that J.J. Abrams could have added more of Darth Sidious, because I think if that had been played on a lot more, I think it would have probably saved the film. Granted, I know J.J. Abrams, he was working with what he had. Rian Johnson, as you all know, he directed The Last Jedi, and I'm not a fan of The Last Jedi. And it just sounds like the more years progress, it sounds more like the majority of Star Wars fans do not like The Last Jedi. Oh, not The Last Jedi. Yes, the Last Jedi, which makes me believe that I think this might truly be the last time that Rian Johnson is ever allowed to touch a Star Wars film. And that's all I'm going to say. Um, some other aspects, I really liked the callbacks from the original films. I liked the fan service that J.J. Abrams gave us. Um, if I had to categorize the this new trilogy and the ending, I would say The Rise of Skywalker is not as good as The Force Awakens, but just by a margin. Um, and, well, not The Last Jedi, The Force Awakens. And The Last Jedi, of course, to me, is at the bottom. There was a lot of poor decisions made in that movie, which just left J.J. Abrams cleaning up a mess. This is how I feel about it. But as a Star Wars fan, there are parts of me that are satisfied. I mean, like I said, Darth Sidious, lightning. I don't like that he was killed off so easily, but I do like the fight between he and Rey, and I do like the fact that Rey was a Palpatine, and I really wish that they'd kind of given us just a little bit more to know who Rey's father was, who was Darth Sidious's son. Like, how did Darth Sidious's son come into being? That is one of my major questions. Like, where did he come from? Like, I mean, in the EU, the expanded universe, they do give some information about some of the various children that Darth Sidious had, but since Disney acquired it, we really don't know what to think about it. Um, I really loved how they brought Luke Skywalker back as a Force ghost, and as in the end, when Rey goes back to Octu to hide out the rest of her days, to do what Luke did, because that's what she saw from him. Really bad direction from The Last Jedi. But I like how J.J. Abrams made it work, and it made a lot of sense because in the end he turned around and he polished up a turd. I mean, it's a good film. It's a good popcorn film. When it comes to the legend that is Star Wars, I feel like I want to say this. It's not the worst. Like, I would probably say that out of like all 9, I would put this like in the bottom 4. The other 3 being the Attack of the Clones, which I didn't think was all that great. What was the other one? I had a thought. The other one that I really think is just more on the bottom, of course, is The Last Jedi. And I just feel like it just falls in that category. It's a good film, but it's just very chopped up. It's very convoluted. We don't really get enough time to sync with the character. Like, I would have loved to have seen, just the extended scenario with them thinking that Chewbacca's dead. Then, like 3-4 minutes later, we find out that he's alive. I I just want to. I wish they had just like built off that. I wanted to know more about the characters. Um, I guess where all this comes into play is this could probably be explained in Disney's stories of the Star Wars universe. Their take on it, and maybe we can get more that way. Um, but I just wanted to give my review on it. Um, I would probably say I would give this one a 6.5. Um, the Last Jedi, I would give it a 4. I'll be point blank, just a 4. The Force Awakens, I would give that about a 7.5. I mean, I'd have to think about it. That's just me thinking, just remembering what I can at the moment. But that is where the Rise of Skywalker sits with me. I didn't like, unlike the Last Jedi where I left feeling that I didn't get anything. The Rise of Skywalker made me feel like I'm leaving this film satisfied, but wishing and knowing that we could have gotten something better had it not been for a few bad decisions by the past director of this film. But you guys, I'm glad that you all got to sit down and hear my review of this movie. Um, it's like day 250, 251 of my vlogging experience here in the state of, well, Tennessee at the moment. And tomorrow I'm going to see my friend Denzel and Emily get married. If you all remember in a few vlogs before, I talked about going to their wedding and sending the RSVP. Well, today is the day. I did not know in my vlog that I would be seeing two friends getting married. But I'm going to be quiet now. Thank you all for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. That will keep you in the loop on daily content of my life here in the state of Florida. Stay posted, stay tuned, keep in touch with me at Dream Poet at Facebook, as well as my Instagram, and the links below. Thank you all for the love and support. I love you all very much. Peace, you guys.